Speaker number 1, Sheldon Christensen. Emotional integrity. Emotional integrity, Sheldon Christensen.
One month ago, I moved out of my place. And as often happens, I could not walk the next day. In fact, it was 3 days before I could go back to work. And that affects my ability to make a living, my ability to interact with other people. I literally checked into a hotel so that I would have easy access to whatever I needed to take care of myself. This is my savior. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, I would like to start with telling you a story that is very well known and move into some ideas about emotional integrity, and then finish that story. My story begins in ancient India. A young prince lives in a lavish castle. His father has decreed that no one may enter that castle who is not perfectly healthy, young, vibrant, and there's a smile on their face, because his son will see nothing but the best. Lavish greenery throughout the castle, the finest foods, the best of everything. This son sees nothing but the best. Well, as all young princes do, he decides he's going to go out of the castle and find out what the world's really like. Exiting from a side door, and then heading right down the road, right out the front of the castle, in front of all of plain view. He heads down the road. The first thing he comes across is a beggar. Poor, dirty, and hungry. He's never seen poverty before. Certainly never seen hunger. This very much disturbs him. He heads farther down the road. The next thing he comes across is a house. And from within that house, he hears moaning. And he goes and looks in the door. And inside that house is a man who is suffering terribly. You can see the anguish on his face. And now the prince is really disturbed. He moves farther down the road. It's beginning to get dark. He stumbles, falls, and feels around in the dark to see what he stumbled over. And he finds that he has fallen over a dead body. He had seen death for the first time. So in a short walk, he's discovered poverty, suffering, and death. It changes his whole life. He heads off into the mountains, lives with the ascetics, which are people that intentionally beg, intentionally deprive themselves, live in cold, dark caves. And he stays there for 10 years. Come back to the story. Abraham Maslow put out a pyramid of hierarchy of needs some time ago. And the base of that is our basic human needs for shelter, protection, usefulness in life. The second middle portion of that is simply our relationships with each other, our ability to interact with the world around us and enjoy life. The top of that pyramid, as we all remember, is self-actualization, making a difference, becoming creative. If we look at things like my event in my life, we can have a lot of negative and positive emotions about it. What we really need to do is look at those emotions and say, does this match up with reality? Our negative emotions drive us to succeed. Fear, anger, frustration. If we don't have those, we won't go anywhere. You wouldn't be here in Toastmasters tonight if you didn't have something like that that said, I have to become better because I don't like the way this is. On the other hand, we have positive emotions. They make us feel good. They are what we want for our rewards when we have dealt with our negative feelings. We want that positive at the other end. A great deal of business research has been done that says if you punish somebody, if you have a stick, you will get some kind of response. But most recent research says you don't even have to have a carrot. All you have to do is give praise. You don't have to give the promotion. You don't have to give more money. All you have to do is say, you did great on that project. That is fabulous. That is more valuable than money, than promotions, and all those other kinds of things. So in our life, we have to look at how do we feel about things. Does this really match up with the way things really are? I'm going to go back to my story now. Our young prince had spent 10 years living in a cave, coming out to beg, starving himself, bones sticking out, as you can imagine. At the end of 10 years, he says, this isn't the way to go. It wasn't right in the palace, but it's not right over here either. And he found a balance in the middle after thinking about what suffering and death and pain, poverty, all of those things, what do they mean? How do we use those in life? And he came up with an answer. And he became one of the greatest teachers of all time. And today, we know of him as the Buddha. Coming back to my start, this saves me. Part of my living is I teach ballroom and Latin dance. I teach Tai Chi. I teach yoga. And if I can't stand up, I have a problem. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.